Hey, Walter Sorrells back with another Knife Makers Friday 5. Today, tragedy. So a couple things today. As always, my Friday 5s are kind of a grab bag of information. Sometimes I catch you up on stuff around the forge. Sometimes it's about products I'm releasing. Sometimes viewer mail. But today, something unusual and pretty tragic that I'll get to in a minute. First, however, some updates here at the shop. Blade show's coming up in a few weeks. If you haven't gone, it's always a fantastic experience. It's located in Atlanta, just outside Atlanta in Smyrna, Georgia. Easy to reach by air, by car, great location, all that stuff. And of course, it's the biggest knife show in the world. Tons of knife makers, vendors, gear sellers, you name it. Last year, I swear I saw at least 100 guys that you've seen in the magazines or on Forged in Fire, whatever, really top-notch knife makers. Gives you a chance to put your hands on that grinder that you're thinking about buying. Just really great experience. So, believe it or not, this is the first time in 20 plus years of my career that I'm actually going to be selling some wares there. I go every year and I never get a table. Why? Because I just never have any inventory. So, why bother to have a table? This year it's going to be different. I'll be at the Ameribraid booth. That's booth 2301. Ameribraid, if you're not familiar with them, is one of the top manufacturers of belt grinders for the knife making trade. And they're kindly giving me a little space to hang out there. I think Jason Knight will be there, Neil Kamamura, Josh Prince, Charlie Ellis, Marco Marmasi, probably some other folks. So come by and say hi. My plan is to sell some of my Tactics Armory blades. You know, I've got a couple Bushidos sitting around, some Agents, a few other models, plus some kitchen knives that I made for various YouTube videos that I haven't sold yet. So if you've ever wanted one of my knives, now's your chance. I'll also have a bunch of these Saya chisels that I've been making lately. If you haven't seen the videos I've done on them recently, they're a really cool tool. They're hard to find. People are always asking me if I sell them, so now I am. I'll also be at the Pops Knife Supply booth for some of the time. So if I'm not at Ameribraid, you might check by Pops and see if I'm hanging out there. That's booth 1044. Okay, so the main subject for the day, really sad story. A couple weeks ago, I was at the Georgia Knife Makers Guild meeting up at Pops Knife Supply, and I ran into Jesse Mavity Crump, who is a knife maker here in Georgia. So turns out back in March, he suffered a tragedy which I'll let him tell you about.
All the veneer gone. The Steinway right there, gone. The table saw might be salvageable. The power hammer might be salvageable. We'll have to replace the motor, all the cables. Press is probably done for. It's no more. Forge actually just need new hoses. Mobile welder gone. Stationary welder gone. We'll have to reheat treat the anvils. Surface grinder gone. Milling machine probably done for.
So obviously there was a major fire there. It just basically burned their entire shop to the ground. You know, if you've ever spent any time in a knife making shop, it's just enough to break your heart. Both his grandfather and his father were smiths, so there's literally just generations of family history up in smoke. Irreplaceable tools, family memories, just like all kinds of stuff gone. So putting aside the fact that he can't make knives right now and all his family history and all that, if you've ever bought a press or a power hammer or even a grinder, you understand just the financial magnitude of the loss. I mean, wow. Anyway, I told him I wanted to do something to help, and it turns out that one of his family members has established a GoFundMe page to try and raise a little scratch, you know, just to kind of offset the loss, at least a tiny bit. So I'll have a link to that in the description. I'm going to shoot him a little money myself, but I also wanted to do something else that was, you know, a little more personal and, you know, maybe would encourage some other people to help him out too. So the idea is that I'm going to give away one of these scabbard chisels to somebody that helps out. So here's how this is going to work. If you go to Jesse's GoFundMe page, just shoot me a note telling me how much you helped him out. Whoever helps out the most, by the time that the Blade Show rolls around, I'll send him a chisel. You know, this isn't a raffle or anything like that. This is just me, you know, trying to do a solid for somebody who's helping somebody else out. This is just one of these every little bit helps out kind of things. So send Jesse and his family whatever you feel. Let me know, and somebody gets one of these chisels. And, you know, maybe in one of the upcoming episodes of Friday Fives, we can recognize some other folks' generosity, whatever, that's all there is to it. So, like I said, GoFundMe page down in the description. This is the kind of thing that could happen to any of us, so please help out. Okay, just to follow up on that, I was also talking to Adam Love of Alpha Lima Tango Knife and Tool at the same meeting of the Georgia Knife Makers Guild, and you know, in this whole context, he was talking to us at the same time, and he suggested that I just do a video sometime about shop safety. You know, everybody hates being ragged on about shop safety, but as Jesse's situation shows, even experienced smiths can have bad things happen. You know, blade makers have to deal with fire, sparks, sharp objects, toxic chemicals, stuff floating around in the air, particles, you know, just all this. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that video because, you know, nobody wants bad stuff happening in something that's supposed to be fun and a positive thing in their life. All right, guys, stay safe and come see me at the Blade Show. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and make sure that you click on that bell so you get notified of all the latest videos. Want to buy a knife from me? Check out my modern blades at tacticsarmory.com. Digging the channel? You can support our video making efforts on Patreon. You know, I've been banging away on these videos for like 10 years, so I hope you'll show some love for all that hard work. Link in the cards and descriptions. Finally, if you're interested in making Japanese swords, check out my full line of Japanese sword videos where I show how to forge Japanese swords as well as how to polish them and how to make fittings, handles, and scabbards. WalterSorrellsBlades.com.